PFL on ESPN. Like, it's a great experience. And I told him that after. I was like, dude, like, me and you, this is a great experience, and we're just gonna get better as people, and we're gonna get better as fighters through these kind of experiences.
So you had him outstruck by over 50 strikes by the time the fight was over. Were you planning on coming out and just putting that volume on him?
I plan on just coming out and moving and kind of picking my shots. I even heard my coach in the corner saying, like, you know, pick your shots. But yeah, there's just things I got to get better at, and I'm still an amateur for a reason. You know, I'm still learning. I think it'd be stupid if I were to just go pro and, you know, get my ass whipped by somebody who's way more experienced than I am. So I'm trying to, you know, be smart with my journey and just get better and better.
Last one from me. So what were some of those mistakes you think you made tonight?
I think the biggest mistake I made was sometimes I lean a little bit when I'm throwing my shots. I got to bring my feet under me. I think that was kind of the biggest mistake. Setting up the high kicks, I was kind of just throwing the high kicks instead of setting them up with something before it. And also kind of throwing my kicks and having it land on my shin instead of my foot. My foot hurts right now because of that. So yeah, those are a few things I gotta learn, but we're gonna go back and you know, just focus on those things I gotta work on.
Thank you.
Biaggio, 2 questions from me. Your aunt Layla is one of the greatest boxers of all time. Do you do any game planning with her before your fights?
No, Layla's she's been very busy. She has a great career. If I'm gonna be honest, we really don't stay in contact that much. But yeah, that's
got it. And one more from me. You have a lot of mentors and a strong team behind you. Are there any young fighters that you're mentoring? And if so, I'd like to hear about them.
Not really. You know, I would love to be a mentor to young fighters, but I'm a young fighter myself, so I think eventually once I get more experience and once I start having a pro career and start having success in that pro career, maybe then I can start teaching young and upcoming fighters. But I'm a young and upcoming fighter myself, so there isn't much to mentor.
Congrats on the victory.
Biaggio, you had your...
I'm gonna do him first real quick.
As the result happened, a lot of people in the crowd, of course, gave a negative reaction towards the result of it. And as an amateur, you're going to go through each and every feel of that. But when you're in the cage, what was your first reaction and feeling to all of that you received throughout the whole, through the end of it?
Like with the audience?
Yes.
I tune the audience out. When I'm in the cage, you know, I'm only focused on what's going on in the cage and hearing what my coach is saying. Yeah.
But in that time when the referee pulled you off, what do you think he was finished? Do you think you knocked him out? Or did you
No. When the ref was pulling me off, I was actually surprised that the ref was stopping. I was like, something happened. Like, did I poke him in the eye on accident? Like, was there something that happened that stopped the fight? And then the fight was over. I was like, really? Like, I didn't know. When he went down, I thought he was out. But I saw that he wasn't, and then that's when I started to try to ground strike, and then the ref came, and I was kind of confused because I thought I might have done something wrong. I know coming out of the fight, I kicked him low, and I didn't even mean to. I just was trying to go inside and then bring back with a hook. But I thought that I might have done something wrong, and that's why the ref stopped it. But the ref, he thought that, you know, the fight was over, so the fight was over.
Biaggio, 5th straight win. It seemed like, even as an amateur, you made adjustments that made you seem like a legitimate pro fighter. So in this case, I know you said you want to stay at the amateur level. What are you going to do next? I guess PFL championship fight coming up. I guess you could fight then, and then maybe go in and out of the PFL as far as fighting more. Do you have a concrete plan for what's next for you for the next few months?
I have no idea. You know, the plan that I have right now is just getting back into the gym and rewatching the fight and focusing on what I need to focus on and fixing the things that I feel like I have to fix. There's no rush with me right now. And I think in the long run, you know, people are going to know, like, it's good that he didn't rush because look at where he is now. You know, I think in the future that's what's going to happen. They'll be like, oh, well, if he would have rushed, X, Y, and Z could have happened. But right now I'm trying to be smart. I'm trying to take my time. I'm trying to get better as a fighter, better as a human. Just back to the drawing board and sit down with my coach, seeing what he thinks is best for next.
And I know you don't really listen to what the crowd thinks when you're in the cage, but they did chant Ali, 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 knowing the history of the Ali family in Madison Square Garden. How did it feel, I guess, now hearing that, or going back to the fight just to hear that reaction?
I don't care. I heard it, but I don't care. If they were chanting Ali, Ali, and I cared and I tried to go crazy, maybe I could have gotten knocked out. You know, who knows? But you know, as a fighter, when you're in the cage, you shouldn't care at all what the crowd is saying.
And finally, for me, with Nico fighting this weekend, all your adjustments that you've made, all the adjustments that he's made, what do you think of the two of you leading the charge for an Ali family resurgence, I guess, or just both of you doing your own thing in combat sports?
I think that's what we're doing. You know, he's doing his best as an up-and-coming boxer right now, and I'm trying my best as an up-and-coming MMA fighter. This was only my 6th fight, and I felt a lot more calm. You know, some amateur fighters, you know, in their 6th fight, they're still like going crazy and stuff like that. But I feel like I'm getting calmer and calmer as I go. I'm getting more and more experience, and I'm just, the fighting journey is a learning journey, and I'm learning each and every day.
Thank you.
Biaggio.
Thank you.
You want to go cover?
Yeah. So, hearing a lot of the questions being asked from your previous match to now, it feels like there's a lot of pressure and people wanting you to become pro versus you trying to tell everyone that you're going to be amateur. How do you kind of handle that tension?
To be honest, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to do what people want me to do. If people want me to go pro tomorrow, I'm not going to just do what people tell me to do. I'm going to do what I think is smart, what my coach thinks is smart, and I don't care if people like it or not.
Thank you.
What's up, Biaggio? You're an intelligent young man, but I gotta say, I agree with you on a lot of things. I disagree with you. I don't think that was too early of a stoppage. I think the ref has shorter leash on amateur fights, and it seemed like the guy was down when he was going down. So that's just my take. But it seemed like you picked up the pace as the fight went on. How did you feel in that second round? Like the gas tank, you showed off the cardio. Do you feel like you really, like, I don't know, showed off the cardio?
A little bit. You know, I felt good. I feel like I was afraid to be fatigued, and being afraid of being fatigued was fatigue in and of its own. Yeah, that's how I felt cardio-wise. But again, like, I'm at Extreme Couture, I could definitely do more and more with my cardio. I work part-time security at a nightclub, so sometimes my sleep patterns are off. And there's certain days where I kind of miss grappling because my sleep schedule is skewed up, and I try to adjust it, but I'm not going to be working at the nightclub that much longer. So because of that, I'm going to, you know, fit in as much grappling classes and working on systems and game plans as much as I can, and just improving that. And I think that will improve my cardio.
It seemed like you and Steph had a bit of a lengthy conversation following the fight right in there in the cage. Could you share anything that he said?
I actually forgot what he said this time. I was still kind of like, it's over? Like, I was still kind of thinking that. But usually, before this fight, every fight that I've had in the PFL, Ray comes up to me and says, "What took you so long?" But he didn't say that this time because I went into the second round, and it was going to go into the third, so yeah.
What do you mean to
Guys, one more question. So who's got one more question? Guys, real quick.
All right, Biaggio, I'll just ask you one last question. So your grandfather, Muhammad Ali, was there any words of advice or lessons that he taught you that you really took away for your mixed martial arts journey?
The biggest lesson he's given me is to stay humble. That's something I'm going to take with me for the rest of my journey. You know, I read the Quran a lot. I'm Muslim. I grew up Muslim. And the Quran tells me that all of this is just an illusion. You know, what is really important is worshiping our Creator, worshiping God, and doing good deeds so that we go to a good place when we die. It's the only thing I care about. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Shout out to Biaggio.
Greatest car company in the world.